Hi, we're Harriet and Mauro, and we're restoring a 5-acre smallholding in Spain into the homestead of our dreams. This week, we start work on a brand new project. We are putting up a yurt to give friends, family, volunteers, and other guests a comfortable place to stay while they visit us. After a fascinating trip to the workshop in Galicia to see it fabricated, followed by a slightly complicated delivery process, we were now in possession of the various pallet loads of wood and canvases which make up the structure. The next step was to build an elevated platform for the yurt to sit on, which is what we'll be doing in this video. Alright, well, we have got the post holders, the bases over here, and this is wonky, isn't it? Well, we've got the post holders, the bases over here, and we're going to start off placing them according to the diagram. There are very clear written instructions and plans for everything that we need to do, and also really succinct, easy to follow videos showing what we need to do. So hopefully we will get this right and we won't make any mistakes. This is the first time we're actually going to see, like, on the ground how big it's going to look as well, so I'm quite excited for that. Each one of these bases weighs almost as much as me. I moved them all over here this afternoon. Hello, come sit with me. Oh, Una's just drawing her pretty, isn't she?
Decide the orientation because that's where the door is gonna go.
I thought, yeah, but it doesn't matter where the beams are, does it?
Well, I think it's meant to be oriented like that.
Okay. Oh, it's hot. Hot today. So the door would be sort of here, just oriented towards the path. I think that makes sense. There's our plan. Cool.
I want it like maybe not touching so that it doesn't bend. Touching.
I think we need your hammering services over here, Santi. Up again. We're going to have to move this plastic and this gravel now, aren't we? Let's try and pile it all like over there. We were positioning the yurt in a site where an old canvas bell tent had previously stood, and in the past I had attempted to do some landscaping around this area with black plastic and gravel, a big mistake because not only did it look quite bad to begin with, but the plastic did not stand the test of time, and now we had to clear all of it out of the way to make room for our new platform. Oh, Santi's got one hole dug for us already. Got further than us. Santi, let go of the wire. Well, that is not looking square. You would need to go more. It's gonna move where the center is.
Yeah,
that's okay,
that's
right?
What I'm saying, that it doesn't matter if
Yeah,
it's
okay, you need to come more that way. And more. Wow, how has this happened?
What?
Oh, you need to move that stick as well then.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right. This first part was a little tricky as we had to try and get the guidelines in as precisely as possible so that we could mark the correct distances between all of the posts. We knew that any inaccuracies brought in at this stage would have repercussions further along, so it was really important to be as precise as possible.
Alright, I'm gonna grind some angles. We're missing some stakes to make some lines, so I'm gonna cut some of those. This is our very last piece of spare rebar, but we're gonna put it to use. Oh, great! Look at that! I'm too strong. Alright, take two. I'm also using our fancy new battery-powered angle grinder, which is beautiful.
This is where site preparation is key, that I need to put a line there, and obviously all of this is here, so I'm gonna have to move this 300 kilos again out of the way. A bit annoying, but it's my fault.
What we are doing here is marking out parallel lines where the main beams, which support our platform, are going to go. I'm so glad that we had a plan and clear instructions for this, because already at this stage it was beginning to be apparent what a serious structure this was, and having never done anything like this before, I think it would have been quite intimidating for us to try and come up with a design by ourselves. Marking out the parallel lines was actually quite tricky, and we kept being off by a few centimetres, so we had to redo this part of the job several times, and it took quite a while until we were happy. That's our last line in, so now we can start digging holes, right?
Yep.
Yep, we've got a whole digging crew with us to help us dig these holes.
The whole
Digging crew.
Tipos de cartel como eso, para mí es nada ya siendo lo mejor. Entonces que exista, pero no es para mí. A mí, por ejemplo, pero reconozco que conceptualmente las cosas que haces.
Done! We're done. Oh, we've got the holes done. Blocks are not in, obviously. Oh, one's in.
Good morning. Today we are continuing with the yurt, with the foundations. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put gravel in the holes that we dug and try to level the concrete feet. So I have my trusty stamper, I have a cup of coffee, we're ready to go. We're currently in a 16-degree day in December. It'd be nice if it was a bit colder, to tell you the truth. So here we have one of the holes that we made. They are 40 by 40 because the feet are 30 by 30, and we made them sort of 15 to 20 centimeters deep. We're gonna do like a 5 to 10 centimeter layer of gravel, and the rest they'll be buried.
So our approach here was to get all of the post holders in the ground and make sure each one was lying level, but they didn't all have to be level with one another, because we would take that into account when we came to cut the posts. This is a method demonstrated on the video tutorials which Celtic Yurts put together for their customers, and I don't think it would have occurred to me to do it this way. I think I would have naturally just tried to get all the bases level with each other, but this was clearly so much easier. Having said that, we did just roughly check the level between the post holders in case there were any huge discrepancies, which could easily be lessened with a little bit more gravel. But the site we had chosen was pretty flat anyway, so the footings ended up all being pretty even. With the footings finally in place, it was time to get the posts mounted.
Let's go up.
Yep. Not Muddy too.
Yeah. I got it in my hand.
Which one's Muddy? This one? Oh yeah, that was Muddy. We have a plan.
Are we already?
Well, it's still definitely not 1, is it?
All right, 3 and 4 are lower.
This one was the high one, right? Okay, so it's gonna be a cross magic because that's what
So those two are equal.
Yep.
Yeah? And this one is lower than that one.
Have I been marking the wrong one this whole time?
Probably,
Sorry, but
yes.
but are we looking for the lowest or the highest? I'm sorry, I'm really trying. I'm really trying. I'm just going to put on a time lapse so that people don't have to hear this.
So you're 61. And the thing is, I see that if we use this 70 one.
Mauro is thinking. Apparently this is the only part that requires thinking, so he's doing lots of it.
We have a very fundamental difference in the way we think about things. I like to think about it before I cut, and Harry wants to cut first and then figure it out later. I just feel like we figured it out half an hour ago. So, yeah.
It'll be late after that.
60 is here, which from the ground, can you stretch it? It's 88 from the ground, and the sandwich panel I think is like at least 10 more centimeters.
So as you can see, we've got 6, well maybe you can't see, we've got 6 posts in out of 13. So yeah, we did really well yesterday in the end. It took us a while to figure out the right technique and just get things going really quickly, but yeah, we got there. The first one took like an hour and then the rest were really quick. After eventually finding the lowest post holder out of the 13, which was only a few centimetres lower than the others in the end, we then went post by post, marking off where we would need to cut them so that the top of each post would be level with one another. This meant that each post was a slightly different height to compensate for the irregularities of the ground. We then had to plane off a couple of millimetres on each side of the posts so that they would fit snugly into the post holders.
Something I really like about how Celtic Yurts do this is that they send you absolutely all the hardware you need, and it's actually really good quality stuff. And I'm sure there's lots of spares. So this box is probably the heaviest part of the whole package, and it's just because it's just full of metal.
30 meters.
How many centimetres? Love these little boxes.
Well, we always lose, like, every single tool comes with like a little tool to do maintenance on, and we always lose them, so trying to improve that.
'Leveling it.
So, a quick review of new tools I've been using and that we got. Planer, amazing tool. Didn't know I needed it. Yeah, it's great. Impact driver. We couldn't do all of this driving without it. Like the drill would really struggle, especially with the really thick screws that we're putting into the post. And then we borrowed this from our friends. I've been using this circular saw that all followers of the channel will have seen before. Yeah, it's just not in great state. And now that I've used a proper saw, I realized how bad it was. We got from our friends this one, and you will have seen in the last video that it just cuts like butter. Well, as you can see, I'm done with the post. Nice detail. I had exactly the right amount of screws, so good job whoever counts screws at Celtic Yurts. So beams next.
3, 4.
All right, it's time to lift the beams into position and see if they go on. See if we've done a good job with our positioning. Going up.
It's like
Oh, that is spot on. The beams seemed to fit into position pretty perfectly, but when it came to adding the cross bracing, which had to slot millimetrically between the rows of beams, we found a few little inaccuracies. We had to do a tiny bit of shuffling of a couple of the fittings to get everything nice and snug, but we had not been too far off, which was very reassuring. Eventually it was all coming together and it looked like we might have actually done an okay job. Oh yeah, that is perfect! Somehow. We did it. There's some more quality control going on over there. Is it straight?
It's fine.
How many screws have you got to screw in?
780.
Santi, we can start filling in the holes now. You've been wanting to do this for 3 days, haven't you? Now you're going to help with this? And with that, back in there. We've got some passengers here. Lovely Dean, what is she doing up there? She's come for the cuddles, hasn't she? Go on, off you go. Go on, off you go. Go on. Off you go, go on. You go over here. Working up to the last minute here. Wow, Papa. What do you say we call it a day? Call it a night?
oh yes.
Yeah? Well, we've been a bit rained off this morning, but it's not raining too much right now, so we're going to try and crack on. Now it was finally time for the sandwich board platform, which forms the base of the platform and the floor of the yurt, although it's recommended to install another kind of flooring over the top, which we will do later. These panel pieces are made from 2 pieces of hydrophobic OSB with an 8cm layer of extruded polystyrene in the middle, providing heat and cold insulation. They were all pre-cut and pre-treated and had a simple tongue and groove notched in so that they all slotted together easily on top of the platform. After 2 days of rain, we can finally continue, and it's time for the sandwich board base of the platform. Don't know if this is stacked in a sensible order or just in any old order. I think you have to start with the full size ones, which are at the bottom.
Okay, so we've done with the beams and the separators, and the only thing left is the perimeter beams that they are cut at an angle so that they kind of fit in between the long beams, and that's the last structural job we have. I think the initial hole doesn't have to be super big. Something like that?
Yeah. A bit less angle maybe? Yep. Okay, the final pieces of the platform are in place. I couldn't film the final couple of ones going in because we were just dodging the rain. Doing a little bit here and there as we could, but we are done. The platform is ready for the sandwich board. Before we put the sandwich board on, we're going to get all of that gravel that we've had lying around in this pile under the platform, get all the holes filled in, make the surface under there as neat and flat as possible because we do want to put some storage underneath here. We've got a really big space that we can do some cool stuff for storage, but it'll help if it's all flat. It's a little bit awkward now with the beams in place, but we didn't want to fill in all the holes before we had it all in place, just in case we needed to shuffle the blocks at all, but I think we're all good. I love that Celtic Yurts not only give you the gravel to put in the foundation holes, but it's also like the fanciest gravel ever. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? It's like pink and grey. are done. The black plastic is all liberated. I'm so glad to see the back of that. Well, it's still here, but it will soon be in the bin. The platform is looking really good. This is what it looks like from on top. There are one or two little inaccuracies, but we did our best. I think we did a pretty good job. And we are ready for the sandwich board. You happy?
Yeah, I like a second try to like do it perfectly.
Yeah, well, it's not like we've done a lot with wood, so I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's forgiving and like it will be strong.
It's strong, yeah.
Just like knowing that those inaccuracies are there.
Yeah, we're never going to see them again.
Yeah.
What's up? You're upset you missed one. You missed that one.
I didn't miss it. I misplaced it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I'm not filming. Definitely not filming. Wow.
We did it. Stage 1 complete.
Let's see the dismount.
I was going to say, if you're wondering where Santi is, he's been looked after by Granny, who is supposed to be staying in this yurt. Can I get...
Wow, so graceful.
It's another day. It is actually sunny now. I think we've got 2 dry days, so we're going to give this another go. Right, that's the last of the numbered ones, which are the cut pieces. And now there's about, what, 7 or 8?
7.
Full-size pieces, which are the ones that are going to go in the middle, which are on the bottom, obviously. So now we're going to go get those, and they will be the first ones that we stick down. This part of the build was so quick and easy and was a very satisfying last step. Finally, we began to see the full size of the yurt and get a feel for what the interior space would look like. I think...
Yeah, this is the one we need.
We're making things a little bit complicated because we are flipping the whole design so that the numbers are not visible on top, and we've also stacked things in a stupid way. So
is the one that opposite to that one. We can put it in. Alright, so we've measured and remeasured, and this is in its position. This is the central panel. It's the most important one. Beautiful! We have one! Only 28 more to go.
final 4 pieces.
We're done.
He did the last screw.
Is it solid?
Amazing job.
A few of the middle ones.
Ta-da! We did it! Oh, it's so high up.